So Liv Morgan has been active once again on Twitter with some new Cryptic tweets, and this is really cool because obviously we had Cryptic tweets from Liv in the past. We've spoken about them on the channel. They've never really ended, but they've become less significant, and things that you can't actually match up with what you're seeing on TV, these you can. 3 days ago, she tweeted out saying 99% of the time, I believe everything happens for a reason. But this one instance has me wondering if I could go back in time. Now, obviously, that could relate to Ruby Riott going back in time, reforming the Riot Squad. That's very likely. And then literally 2 days after that, she tweeted out saying, time to rethink. Is she rethinking Ruby Riott's offer of the reuniting the Riot Squad? I mean, it's definitely possible. That's what we are seeing lately on Monday Night Raw. 2 weeks ago, Ruby Riott approached Liv Morgan, seemed very friendly. She didn't actually say she wanted to team with Liv, but you can kind of guess the storyline they're going with. And then last week, we saw Ruby Riott on her phone trying to get through to Liv Morgan, who wasn't at the show, but Liv wasn't interested in talking to Ruby. So is she now rethinking her stance on this? Could she team with Riot again? And then literally moments ago, Liv tweeted out saying, I know what I did wrong, 1 minute after saying I wasn't myself. Now that is very telling because the whole point of Liv Morgan coming back to WWE was she was going to be the real Liv Morgan. And the real Liv Morgan would be better than any other version of Liv we've seen in the past. If that was not the real Liv Morgan, well, it explains why Liv hasn't done great in WWE. Of course, we could be seeing a day back in time to Liv going back to the Riot Squad. That's very possible. I don't think we're going to get it exactly how it used to be. We all know the story. Sarah Logan has, at the moment, retired from professional wrestling. Obviously, after being fired from WWE. So the Riot Squad immediately would go down to 2 members. But I therefore don't think it'd even be called the Riot Squad. Maybe you could just call them the Squad. Like, it's a catchy name, it makes sense, and it ties into what they've done in the past. I really am excited that they could potentially do this, although I do think there's another storyline they could do. We'll talk about that in a moment. But of course, a lot of people are upset, saying that Liv is being buried since Paul Heyman's no longer in charge on Raw. That's absolute baloney and just not true. Even when Paul Heyman was in charge, Liv lost to Asuka, she lost to Charlotte Flair. That happened under the watch of Paul Heyman. In fact, for the last 2 weeks of Paul Heyman's tenure as the guy in charge of creative on Raw, Liv was not on the show. All we got was silly video packages again. Now, if you want to talk about someone being buried because of Paul Heyman not being there, Shayna Baszler is a perfect example. Shayna was tipped to be a huge star on Raw. She was a Paul Heyman project. Now she's not even on the show. Someone who should be a champion, someone who should be a main eventer, immediately isn't. And I do like the story that potentially Ruby could still join Lana and Natalya. There was definitely a moment, we spoke about it on Monday, that Ruby seemed interested in what Lana was saying when Lana was trying to put over Natalya and say how good Natty is, saying how Natty's got the most wins out of anyone in the entire women's division history. Obviously, Ruby Riott cannot get a win. She hasn't won a match in 2020. That's how insane that is. But of course, she seemed interested that Natty was seemingly unbeatable. Could that be the catalyst for Ruby Riott to join and make this a trio of Liv Morgan's enemies, so to speak, since she's been back in WWE? And then if Liv had to then conquer the 3, I think that would make it very interesting. And without a doubt, wins over the 3 of them would definitely put Liv Morgan higher up on the card. And the fact they are doing this all after Paul Heyman is gone from Monday Night Raw just proves that Liv's doing pretty well. She's on the show, she's part of the main events. That's what matters. But guys, this is a really awesome video to make. I love making these Liv Morgan little theory videos on Cryptic tweets. Obviously, I'm hoping we see her on Raw tomorrow night. I think that would be pretty cool. But make sure, if you haven't already, you check out the new video uploaded yesterday. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because obviously it helps the channel grow if you do. Of course, like the video. It does help the video rank up on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at SeatWrestlingUK, and I'll see you as always next time. Peace!